Hi everybody, welcome to Conscious Conversations. I'm your host, Katie Augustyn. So I'm the founder of the Transformation Center, which is based in Westport, Connecticut. And at the center, in addition to the individual shamanic healing sessions that I do and the coaching sessions, we also offer a variety of classes, workshops, all sorts of interesting stuff. So you can check it out on the website. We're going to put up our contact info. It's basically just Transformation Center, CT for Connecticut.com. There's a calendar of events. You can sign up. You can email or text with any questions, because the whole point of what we do at the center is really to help you access more self-awareness and gain that clarity that comes from knowing who you truly are and letting go of everything that you're not, so we can work on that together. And I welcome beginners, anybody who's interested in being on that spiritual path of growth and evolution. So thank you for being here today. And the Conscious Conversation show is all about meeting people who have something to offer you. So today I'm very excited that my guest is Amanda Marie Thomas. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, this is great. I know you're a little nervous, but this is such an easy thing to do, and people want to hear what you have to say. That's the most important thing. Right, yeah. So I'm going to read a little bit about you before we get started, just so they can, learn about you. And we're going to put up the slides with your contact info as well, okay?
Awesome.
All right. So Amanda is the founder of the Butterfly Initiative and the Goddess Serenity Retreats. Yeah, and she's going to tell us about both of those and why she has two separate entities, basically. Yeah. So, and she has different Instagram accounts for both of them, so you can follow both of them, and you can get the information on the slide. So as you'll learn, Amanda is a survivor, and she discovered her purpose after a near-death experience and is now dedicating her life to helping trauma survivors and women on their healing journey. That's beautiful. And as a holistic lifestyle coach, she provides guidance and hosts transformative retreats. Yeah, that's so important. Empowering women to heal and thrive holistically. I mean, what could be better? That's such a service that you do. And like many of us, it comes from our own experience, and how we were able to recover and thrive, and now we want to help other people, right?
Yes, that's exactly the case. So through my own healing journey and life journey, I realized the need and importance of having these safe spaces for women to come and heal themselves, their mind, body, and spirit. I myself sought out these types of spaces, and I realized my vision was to create them for women.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because it met a need that you had. And so, that's usually the case. If we have a need, many, many others do as well. So you got into this kind of recently.
Yes.
In the last 5 years, I believe.
Yep,
yeah.
The last 5 years.
Yeah, and then you're also doing some other type of healing work before that, or currently, right? Or with your PT?
Yes. So I have been a physical therapist assistant for 7 years now.
Okay.
So I have been helping patients heal their body.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yes.
I definitely have brought in some of my coaching experience as well. I've done my best to help patients. I'm just sorry about that. I've done my best to help guide patients with their emotional needs as well. I can tell that there are a lot of people that have deep-rooted traumas at work, which is something that I've experienced since going through my healing journey. I've realized some of my spiritual gifts that I have that I wasn't aware of before.
That's great.
So I've been using them to help patients at work too.
Yeah, so it's happening kind of organically, where you're putting all of this together. Yeah,
piece by piece.
Yeah, because as you know, that trauma is stored in our body. And so if we don't get to the source of it, it's not going to really heal properly, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to hear then about how you did get into this. How did you discover your purpose through a near-death experience? What was that? Tell us all about it.
So I brought some notes because I was a little nervous for coming today.
Of course.
But so I
Yes,
might
yeah.
peek down at them. But in 2019, I suffered a near-death experience. Like you said, I'm a domestic violence survivor, so it was related to that. It's been about 5 years now since that happened. And honestly, it was the catalyst for my spiritual growth and spiritual awakening.
Oh.
That near-death experience that I went through made me question what my purpose was in life, why I was here. At first, I had a lot of survivor's guilt and felt very lost at the time. I started drinking heavily, using all of the wrong coping mechanisms.
Yeah, it happens.
It happened to me, so I can speak to that. And yeah, it's hard to talk about still sometimes. I've done a lot of healing, and I'm on the upwards of my spiritual journey where I'm able to give back to people, but sometimes talking about it still brings back some of the memories. My PTSD from it was quite overwhelming at first. So I was also taking anxiety and depression medications. I had really bad suicidal thoughts almost every day for a little over a year. And then I finally started seeing a therapist. I sought out help, which is super important. And I think anybody struggling with anything that doesn't have good support from family and friends should definitely seek out a therapist, someone to talk to. They can really shed light onto your situation. And for me, she helped me process those heavy emotions that I was experiencing, and kind of sparked my journey into healing.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, it's a really good place to start, learning about what's happening, because I think at any age, it can be overwhelming, when something traumatic like that happens, to, like you said, to process what we're going through. We need to take a step back sometimes. Yeah, well, good. I'm glad you got the help. It took a while. Yeah, and then you were able to think about what it meant in terms of your purpose. How did that unfold?
So yeah, I started really doing some deep soul searching. Like, why am I here? At first, I was in such a negative mindset, being like, oh my God, why am I here? Like I mentioned, survivor's guilt. And then I really did inner work through journaling. I had a gratitude journal. I started writing every positive affirmation I could find on the internet down. Quotes, I posted quotes everywhere in my house, in my apartment at the time. And yeah, I started running every day. I started, when the gyms opened back up after, during COVID, I started full body training and really sought out to heal my body, mind, and spirit as best as I could.
So with a near-death experience, did you have the feeling that you were reborn? I mean, how does that manifest in terms of your purpose? You're here, and then you're gone, and then you're here again, right? I mean, because you literally lose connection for a little while, don't you, in a near-death experience?
Yes. So I would say February of 2023, last year, I went out to Salt Lake City in Utah. And I had never done somatic breathwork before. And I dove into that experience, and with near-death experiences, there's a lot that your brain blocks out from the trauma. So it brought me back to that exact moment and the body sensations that I felt and everything. I was strangled and suffocated during my near-death experience, so I lost consciousness completely during it. So that experience, re-experience of it really started, well, kind of, I guess it continued my healing journey in that sense. I needed to go back and re-experience it to better understand what had happened.
Oh, okay.
I remembered bits and pieces of it, but I had a mild traumatic brain injury from it due to anoxia in the brain.
Okay.
So going through that, it helped me put the bits and pieces together and better understand what actually happened.
Okay.
So from it, during the experience, I went through a tunnel. A lot of people that have had near-death experiences end up going through a tunnel and have go before like a bright light. I experienced that as well. Everything kind of, well, first I went through a tunnel, and this is still hard to talk about.
Yeah. All right, take your time.
But I went through a tunnel, and then I saw my life play back in like a reel.
Okay.
Started with like a fetus in a womb, and it went through to my college graduation. And then the last clip that I saw was my dog that I had at the time running around chasing a bigger dog with floppy ears in a backyard, which is kind of crazy because after I bought my house recently, a couple years ago, I looked out my back window in the kitchen and I saw my dog Bandit, but with my other dog running around in the backyard, and it was instant connection to that.
So you were actually seeing
clip.
the future. It was what was going to happen. That is amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. I mean, that's kind of affirming in a way that, you know, that life is going on and good things are coming, sort of. Yeah.
It definitely made me feel comforted and knew that I was on my right path. But everything after that, everything kind of broke away into fractals, and nothing was there besides my energy and just white. And then I went before a bright light being, and I begged him to stay there because it was peaceful.
Yeah.
My life at the time was chaotic in the situation. So having remembered all of that sparked a rebirth last February. So pretty recent that I've been going through spiritual awakening and realizing my purpose in life, and I think I found it.
It sounds like it for sure. Wow. That's amazing that you actually had to relive it in order to get what you needed from it. You know, you were sort of started that process, but this really catalyzed it a lot. Oh, that's really amazing, Amanda. I'm sure it is still tough to talk about, but it's so important for people to hear this. So thank you so much for being here and sharing this.
I share it because I want to help other people that are out there that have experienced similar things, and maybe they're stuck in their healing journey and in that negative mindset. So I'm here to tell them that you can heal and you can get through it, and you can live a life that's full of serenity and joy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and it doesn't have to be a near-death experience, obviously. Just, you know, trauma in general is so rampant these days, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like everybody has PTSD from one thing or another, you know. It's really remarkable that you're able to help people like this. And you focus mainly on women?
Mainly on women, mostly domestic violence survivors, but like you said, a lot of people have gone through trauma.
Yes, yes. I don't know statistically, you probably know, are most domestic violence survivors women?
Most are women, but the statistics are still high for men.
Okay. Unfortunately, it works both ways.
Both ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that's right. But you know, to have this resource. So tell us a little bit about the Butterfly Initiative. What is that exactly?
So the Butterfly Initiative is my holistic lifestyle coaching business.
Okay.
I started that first and then founded my retreat business. I plan on turning it into a nonprofit for domestic violence survivors.
Oh, great. Okay, and what would that look like?
It would look like hosting different events and providing a safe space for women to come and heal, and mostly free events, donation-based, creating a sort of foundation, and then giving back to women in need and shelters. And
Oh, great. Wow, that sounds amazing. Wow, that's a fabulous idea. So in the meantime, you're working with women like one-on-one. Excuse me. Yeah.
one-on-one
As a
coaching.
coach, yeah.
I've created some different coaching programs like 30-day holistic lifestyle challenge and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so it is mind, body, and spirit. Like
Mind,
when you
body,
say
and spirit.
Holistic.
Yep.
And I mean, the perfect combination, because you basically know all about all of these things now, one way or another, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's definitely, well, not impossible, but difficult to only focus on one of those areas and get the results you're looking for.
It's all connected.
It's all connected, as they say, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And you do this remotely, in person? How does that work?
I like to cater to what the client needs.
Okay.
As long as they're local, within an hour in Connecticut, I don't mind meeting at a coffee shop or somewhere and kind of formulating a plan from there. But other than that, virtually.
Yeah, it's good to have that option, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because people who, you know, they don't have to be local, they can be anywhere, or they can be close by, but they don't want to drive that day or whatever, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, good. Okay, that's great. And so tell us now about your Goddess Serenity Retreats. That's a whole nother avenue of what you do.
Yes. So my Goddess Serenity Retreat business, it is my mission to make every woman out there feel empowered and cherished. I think nowadays a lot of women, I'm sure even years ago, a lot of women are going through things that they don't want to speak up about. So I wanted to create a safe space that women could come and heal, a sense of community with one another, sisterhood.
Yes.
So yeah, my first retreat is this October.
Oh, okay, great. So this is just getting started.
Just getting started.
Wow.
Inaugural retreat.
Hot off the press. You heard it here first.
My first retreat's this October at Kenwood Lake.
Which is October 2024, because this is going to be on
2024.
YouTube for a long time, right?
Yep, October 4th through the 6th. I will be offering somatic breath work, which
nice.
I feel that deep in my soul.
Yeah. So did you learn that modality yourself, or are you bringing in other practitioners?
No, so I am bringing other practitioners. So I have a wonderful woman coming in to do somatic breath work, a yoga instructor coming in, and we're doing boudoir. So women empowerment, something a little fun, private sessions, guided yoga, and a big focus on nutrition. I'll be leading some empowerment journaling sessions to help boost self-confidence.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I can tell. I know. You really have a big passion for this, Amanda. It shows. So it's beautiful to see that.
Thank you.
And that makes a big difference for a lot of people. Yeah, so that's wonderful. So you can find out about you on your Instagram page, or that's mainly what you do, because you don't have a current website for this.
No, so I did create website links that are through my social media, both on my Instagram pages. They're Canva websites for now.
Oh, right.
I built them So
Yes, yeah, yeah. No, I did check that out. It looks good. Yeah, so just go on Instagram and you'll be able to find it.
yep.
Well, that's awesome. I look forward to that. Is there anything else coming up that you want to tell us about? It seems like there was one other thing.
So this October, I am working with Bridgeport Police Department to create a women's self-defense class
Oh, wow.
for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So
Wow. Okay, that's in what month? September?
October.
October again. So October's a big month for you.
October, yes, it is a big month this year.
Okay. Well, wow. So you're up to a lot. That's awesome. Well, I love all of this. It's really, really great hearing your story and how it's empowered you and now empowering other people. I love that ripple effect, where you just spread it out there and people can just find out, what they need. Because as you said, it's all individual. You work with the person for what they need and want, not necessarily what you think they should have or need.
Yes, it's all individualized.
Yeah.
Everybody is different.
Yeah.
So I try to curate it to them as best as possible.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to have to wrap up in a couple of minutes. Before we do, is there anything you'd like to leave our audience with? I know one question we were maybe going to talk about was what happens to your consciousness during a near-death experience? Is that something that you'd like to share with people so they can kind of understand it?
Yeah, it's based on my understanding and research of it. There are a bunch of different factors that can affect consciousness during it. There's 3 main theories too. So there's a neurobiological theory that basically most near-death experiences there's some type of hypoxia in the brain, which triggers the release of endorphins and a feeling of euphoria. So from that perspective, they think that causes these types of visions and sensations that you feel during it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the psychological perspective that takes into account all of your past history and life experiences that are kind of manifesting, and the trauma that you're going through may serve as a coping mechanism. It's interesting.
Odd too, yeah.
And then there's the spiritual transcendental theory, which is viewed as glimpses into a higher realm. And it gives to existence of the afterlife, which I personally think that all 3 kind of play a role in it, but I lead more towards the spiritual part of it, just because from it I've had a rebirth and a huge spiritual awakening. I appreciate life so much now, and even just the littlest of things I find joy in.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely leads to thought that there is an afterlife and that our souls do go on from here, which is why I focus so much on helping people heal.
Yeah.
Eternally, because it's not just, your soul's not just here.
Right.
We're going somewhere else on our journey.
Exactly.
Possibly.
And we learn as much as we can in this lifetime to evolve. That's my belief anyway. And we eventually, where we don't have anything left to learn, we don't have to keep coming back. Then we get to be with our creator being. That's my philosophy. Anyway.
I would agree with that.
Okay. Okay.
I would agree.
And based on your experience, because you had the experience, you're not just a researcher talking about this. You lived it. You lived through it, so you know what you experienced.
I lived through it. It made me question a lot of my prior beliefs. I grew up Roman Catholic, so it made me kind of delve more into religion and all of that stuff, because I do know there is a divine being, that our creator of the world and of us and every little thing in it. So
yeah, it's interesting. Isn't
yeah.
It? Well, it all fits together. To me, it's like all the religions have the underlying, belief that we're here, that we're spirits, you know, I don't know. Maybe they don't all, but I think most of them do.
Most of them do.
Spirits in human bodies, so that's
Yep.
yeah. Well, I'm for one glad that you're back.
Thank you. I'm happy as well. I'm so grateful to be here. Happy to be alive.
Yeah.
I wrote down a quote from Mother Teresa that I found very
Great.
empowering and inspiring.
All right. Why don't we finish with that then?
So there is light in this world, a healing spirit more powerful than any darkness we may encounter. We sometimes lose sight of this force when there is suffering, too much pain. Then suddenly the spirit will emerge through the lives of ordinary people who hear a call and answer in extraordinary ways.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. So does that feel like it sums up
Yes.
what you're about?
I might be tearing up a little bit, but yes.
Yeah, I know. It's really sweet. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. And thank you for being here today and sharing your whole story and yourself with our audience. It's very, I'm sure they appreciated it. And thank you to our audience for being here, as always, on Conscious Conversations. And thank you to the Westport Library, Verso Studios, for hosting us again. See you next time. Namaste.